Okay, so the next thing we're going to make is a Spark page. And so we're going to go to our projects and we're going to hit the blue plus button for page. And you will see something that looks like this. So before we add anything, we'll talk about what's up here at the top. Preview is, it's going to show you what your page looks like before you publish it. So you'll see it's blank now because I haven't added anything. We'll come back to that. Share will come back to themes. Themes is where you can kind of pick the style you want your page to take. So you can click on these and it will kind of give you a preview before you start. I'll go with whimsy because, you know, whimsy's good. All right, roll with whimsy. So after you pick that, you'd want to come in here and click a title. So let's say I'm going to use theme and literature will be my lesson. I'll just go ahead and put Mr. Howard's class down here. All right, so I've kind of set up my page. Now I need to add a background. You'll notice this is kind of boring. So this plus button here will allow me to put something in here. So just like with a post, you can find a photo. So I'll just put a picture of books in the background. There we go. Perfect. All right, so well, those aren't really the kind of books I read, but you know, it's whatever. People want to read those things. All right, so I have my background, I have my books, I have started my Spark page. So if you scroll down, it'll prompt you to start adding some stuff. So like if I was gonna do this for a class, well, I'll talk about these tools first. So photo just means you're gonna add a photo to the Spark page. Text means like a block of text, like something you'd have your students read. Button is like you can add a link to something and have it be a little button. Video is just an embedded video that will play when student hit play. A photo grid is a series of photos that you can do captions or add more detail to something you want to illustrate to them. And a glide show is like a PowerPoint or a slideshow, Google Slides, where you'll have a series of slides that you can put in to play for your students. So I'm going to start by, I'll just add a photo. So I have my books over here. Let me see if I can find something for theme. It's an abstract term, so I might not find anything good. All right, yeah, so I like this guy. All right, we'll put this in here. All right, it's a good start. I'll add a caption. Sometimes theme is like a duck in a gnome hat. That doesn't make any sense, but you get it. So you can add a caption to your picture. The next thing I might add in here is text. So I'll put in a little piece of text, and I can, I have heading options. So I might say theme in literature. Spell it right. And then below that, I will, go in here and switch it to, there we go. And then I'll put in another text that'll just be like, theme is important because it teaches you something the author wants you to know, but makes you read between the lines of the text. All right, it's a good start. The next thing I will do here is a button. So let's say I wanted to use a button to link to a pretest. That would be a good thing to do. Theme pretest. And I'll have this go to a Google form with some quiz questions. So I'll just put a little link to a Google form in there, and then I'll save it. All right, so there's our theme pretest. We'll get to that in a second. Next thing I might want to add is a video. So you can just throw something in here from YouTube, Vimeo, or another Spark video that you've used before. So here's a link to a YouTube video. I'll go ahead and save that in, and it will, find that video that you are wanting to share. Next would be a photo grid. So I could add a series of photos. So I could put all these thematic pictures in that I looked up. And one of the nice things is, since it's like the grid style, it's going to start putting those things into as a grid. So it's like it's not just one on top of the other. It like makes it look kind of a little more convenient. So how those all fit together nicely. And you can change the order these are in if you want. and Spark does the hard work of making sure it's in there the best way. And let's say you put a picture in there you don't want, you can just go and delete it out. So, all right, there's some photos from a photo grid, and you can go in here and add a caption. So you might say, what do these photos suggest about the story? How can these images relate to a theme? Last thing you can do is a glide show. So you can start throwing in some photos here that will you can add information to, kind of like a slideshow in PowerPoint. So I'll put this one in first, and then we'll put this one in, and we'll go with this one last. Okay, we'll save that. And so you see now as I slide through these, they have these, so let me go back. So here's the photo grid I just put in. And now here's the glide show that I've included. And as I go down through it, they have these pluses. So I'm going to put additional information here. So how can Apple apply to the theme of the story? And you can add, like, there's other things you can do here. You can add like a focal point. So it's gonna focus on that part. I'll save that. Okay. So see how the picture kind of zooms into that focal point. For this one, we'll put in some more text. Interesting how books can say so much about theme. Any question? You can also add another picture in on top. So let's say you want to get really crazy with books. There's a picture of a book on top of a picture of books. And I'll put a focal point here. Right here on this match. That's cool. Save that. See how it kind of zooms in there. And then we have our last picture here. I'll put, yikes. Text. Creepy women in front of stained glass can be very thematic. And we will add a focal point right here on her face, and I will save that. All right, and so that'll be our glide show. And you'll kind of, these are all going to come together here in a second. I will add one last thing here. Let's say I want a button, and it'll go to a theme website. And so the last thing I'm going to add here is a link to this Literary Devices website that's got some information about theme, and I'll save that. All right, so I'd like to center this button. I'd like to center this button, please. All right, so let's preview this, see what it looks like. All right, so here's my Spark page. This is what a student would see when I share this with them. And as they scroll down through it, these pieces will kind of start to come together. And so my student scrolls down here, and they're going to click to take the theme pretest. Boom, got a Google form that comes up. They're going to answer those. Then they're going to watch the video. I'll make you watch the whole thing. They're going to see some examples of thematic devices, maybe through some photos. We're going to scroll down. We're going to explain theme to them through these pictures. Hey, class is over. Great. We're going to scroll down through all these, and they've made it to the end, and so then they're going to go to that theme website. Of course, it wants me to log in again. Scroll back down, and they should be able to get to that. Oh, let me go to my preview. Okay, Spark kind of whacked out there on me a second. Must have thought class was over. So go back to and click on that link to the button, and that'll take me to this theme website. And so now your Spark page is finished. So you added everything that you need your students to go through. So I'm going to click back out of that preview, and I want to share it. So just like a post, you're going to share it in the same way. you can create a link to it. So I want to publish this. I'll put it in education. I'll attribute it to myself. You have a couple more options down here. You can photo credit. So I want to make sure I give credit to the photos that I used. And then I'm going to create a link. Create that link. I can Facebook, Twitter, email, or I can embed this into my website. So if you have like a Google site or a Weebly or something that you keep for your classroom, you can use that. Or I could just simply copy and paste this in my Google Classroom or whatever, and my students would have that access to it. So that's how you make and share a Spark page.